Alright, Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone that rule well, that's taught us His truth, and blessings to the elect and the remnant of Israelites who are scattered worldwide, who are predestined to be saved. Now, I'm doing the second part of my lesson because the last lesson I did is about, single Israelite women. And there's a lot of them, and that's down to the curses, etc. And how, if you're in that situation, what should you do? How to learn the truth? Because, the Bible says, the women should keep silent in the church. It's not permitted them to speak. And if they learn anything, and when it says if they learn anything, it's being sarcastic. All right, let them ask their husbands at home. But many Israelite women do not have husbands. So the last video I did was on a single Israelite woman, and you can see that on my channel. All right, but this lesson is basically about, let's say you're an Israelite woman and you have, you are in the truth. Your partner, your husband is not in the truth. So this lesson is about that. We're going to go into it because it's in 1 Corinthians 7 and 10 to 15. So we're going to go through it. But there was an old video that I did. And, when you come in this truth, there's not many things that make you, really emotional. But this is one video that I saw on a brother's page in Great Millstone, and I had tears. And I remember when I posted it up, a few people commented on it on this video, and there was a brother on there, and he goes, "I haven't cried since I've been in this truth, and when I saw this, I cried." And this is basically a family that came up to the brothers here in South Carolina. I think they're from Elder Manatsak, who is here with the luminous green top, and they came all the way. I can't remember where they came from. They came miles away just to thank them, and I'm gonna play it. And if the volume's low, I apologize for that, but I'm gonna try and edit it and increase the volume so everyone can hear, because there was someone that put a comment on a previous video saying that the volume's quite low, so I'm going to sort that out. All right, and this is a family that came, and I want you to listen to what the man of the family said, because he came with his family, and he said that his wife first came into the truth, and he wasn't in the truth, but through seeing his wife and the changes that she made in her life and how it was changing her, and that gravitated him to the truth. All right, so if you are an Israelite woman and you're in the truth and your man is not in the truth, this video's edification on that actual subject, because what can happen is that through you being in the truth, your partner can see the positive changes, and then they can come into the truth. All right, so we're going to play it. Okay.
That the strangers of his salvation so far beyond all that they look for.
With terrible fear, and they're going to be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation. Well, why is it strange? Well, we just read to you throughout the scriptures that the Lord's coming by way of chariots.
Right. You're going to see a black man standing on something so big it's like a mountain. Laser beams going to be coming out. There's going to be thousands of them. That's strange compared to what you see today. That's strange. In Revelation, every eye is going to see him, and all the kingdoms of the earth are going to mourn.
So, if every eye is seeing him, and all the kings of the earth are going to mourn, what are we talking about here? We're talking about a planetary invasion.
He's like, they were breaking the sound barrier in the chair, and then he said that they didn't have no seatbelts or nothing. He's like, the speed of the chair would pin them to the chair. So he's like, the chair was round, like inside of it. And then he said they were breaking the sound barrier. And then he said, when it started getting dark, they got into space. Whole family is like, hey, Shalom. Hey. How about shop rock thumb? All right, who y'all study with?
You.
With us? Oh, hey. All right. Hey, come on, bro.
Brother, you want?
Hey, how about shop rock?
I just wanted to introduce my family to you guys. We came from Shreveport to see you guys and to give you guys some gifts.
Wow.
If that's okay with you guys.
Hey, yeah, bro. By all means, it's okay. Hey, shalom.
That's my sister, my brother-in-law, my sister and her daughter, my daughter, her son, my wife, my daughter, my other daughter.
Okay.
We all, for the most part, have gifts for you guys. We just wanted to thank you for all the teaching that you've done for us, and you got us where we are right now, and we just appreciate it. So we wanted to come by and give you guys some gifts.
Hey, man, all praise to how about seeing how we shine. And, we won't take no credit. All praise to the Most High. And this brother right here, too, he came up from Fort Myers, Florida. So he also learning, too. Yeah. And, man, getting chills all over. Wow.
So I this one, paid it for you.
Oh, yeah. Woo! It's got a lion, right? And inside, is that supposed to be me? I look like Sub-Zero. Woo! Wow. Look. Oh, man.
Water, man.
Come show yours. Look at that. Wow. That is awesome.
Once again, we appreciate you guys so much. Like I said, my wife started with you guys, and she brought me along, and we've just been, ever since we've been trying to hit it hard. And you guys been a baraki to our family, so we wanted to make sure.
Hey, the water, brother. Now, I want to make a point. Come up, brother. Now, he said, say that again. Your wife started, and what happened?
And she brought me along, and then we just been going hard ever since. It's just been because of these guys that we've learned what we've learned thus far. GMS is the truth, and they've been bringing forth the truth for a long time. So we just want to be thankful and bring forth some gifts to these guys and show our appreciation.
Oh, brother, got to give you a hug on that one, brother. Hey, the water, man. The water, yeah.
Thank you so much.
That's beautiful, because what he said was, and that's in the scripture. Because, like, when a woman come into the truth, and her husband is not in the truth, hey, through her, he can still wind up coming into the faith, man, and vice versa, right?
That's right. So I hope you saw that, man. I hope you actually got what he said. He said my wife came in the truth, and he wasn't in the truth, but through seeing his wife in the truth, it encouraged him to be in the truth. All right. And that's what could happen. So you, as an Israelite woman, okay, as an Israelite woman who is in the truth, you're learning and so forth. If you have a partner that's not in the truth, all right, and you live in the same household, if he's okay and pleased, and he's okay to dwell with you, you don't kick that man out. And that's what we're going to go. We're going to go into the scriptures on that. Because when you come into this truth and you're coming out of the harlot house, Jeremiah 5:7, the Christian churches. I remember I used to go to Christian churches. I remember there was once when, this is way before I came into truth. I was in this Benjamite church. It was like a Pentecostal kind of thing. And I remember that they did an altar call, and they said, all the women that have unbelieving husbands, stand up and come to the front. And there was about 30 of them women came up to the front, And some churches actually teach that, listen, if your man or your woman is not a believer, kick them out, or get someone that believes. That's not scriptural, man. So we're going to go into it. All right. And we're going to start at 1 Corinthians 7, verse 10. All right. And this is Apostle Paul speaking. And unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord. All right. And remember, these are prophets, but the Lord is speaking through them. Let not the wife depart from her husband. Okay. Verse 11. But, and if she depart, all right, let her remain unmarried. So if you are what's it called? You know, if you are an Israelite woman, and you're married to your husband, as it says here, and unto the married I command, yet not but I the Lord, let not the wife depart from her husband. So really, your husband is supposed to be for life. All right, but it says here, but if she depart, so if you leave that man, let her remain unmarried. That's in the law. You're supposed to remain unmarried. You're not supposed to be go from one man to another to another. That will make you a harlot. All right. Okay. The world says that women can get divorced and take them to court and all this stuff. Yeah, because the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. The wicked is not into having a structured household, and many of the laws in America in particular is there to break the family up, and they've done a fantastic job of it, man. All right, a fantastic job. So if she departs, let her remain unmarried. So you're supposed to remain unmarried if you leave your husband, or be reconciled to that husband, or if you leave, all right, try and make it up with your husband. All right. And it says, and let not the husband put away his wife. All right. So if you have a wife, so forth, you can't just dash her away for any reason. All right. You ain't supposed to be doing that, man. All right. It says, or be reconciled to her husband. So you're supposed to be reconciled. You're supposed to try and sort it out. Okay. And let not the husband put away his wife. So if the wife is trying to come back and say, listen, we can sort this out, the husband's not supposed to just dash her away. It said, let not the husband put away his wife. All right. Next verse. All right. Verse 12. But to the rest I speak, I, not the Lord. If any brother have a wife that believeth not. So you have a wife and she doesn't believe in this truth. All right. And she is pleased to dwell with him. So she doesn't believe in it, but she's okay to stay in the same house with you, and do her wifely duties. Let him not put her away. Yeah, so don't kick her out. So you might be a man in the truth, and your wife doesn't believe, but she's okay, to dwell with you and still be a wife in the house and do her wifely duties. All right, let him not put her away. That's contrary to what some of these harlot houses are teaching. All right, verse 13. All right, and the woman, all right, which have an husband that believeth not. All right, so this is the women that are in this truth, and you have a husband that doesn't really believe, and he be pleased to dwell with her. He doesn't believe, but he's okay to dwell with you and do his duties as a husband. All right, let her not leave him. All right. So he doesn't believe, but he doesn't believe in the truth. You're in the truth, but he's okay to dwell and do his husbandly duties and be in the same house. Let her not leave him. So you're not supposed to just say, well, because you don't believe, kick your man out of the house. Okay, that's what Esau wants. He wants broken families. All right, and we know that broken families bring out. The statistics are quite clear on it. People can get offended all they want, but look, I've seen it. I've seen it in my own family. I've seen it in the community. In secondary school, which is the equivalent to high school in America, I was the only Israelite child in my secondary school class, all right, who had a mom and a dad in the house. Everyone else who was so-called black, West Indian, West African, they all came from single parent households. Okay? And then basically when I was like 17, my parents divorced. So, That's the curses, man. All right. Verse 14. All right. For the unbelieving husband, and this is a point now, listen carefully now. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife. All right. And the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. And the word sanctify means be holy. So through having an unbelieving husband, all right, you have an unbelieving husband, but through the wife being in this truth, he could change and come into this truth, all right, and that will make him holy. And remember, the word sanctify means to be holy, to be set apart. So we're not of this world, okay. And then and it also says, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. So if there's a man that is in the truth and he's with a woman who's not really into the truth, all right, she might your woman might come into this truth because they see the change in you, just like that example I showed you with that family. All right. And then it says, else were your children unclean. All right. Unclean. But now they are holy. And as you can see from that family, they're a holy family, man. Okay. They're a holy family. All right. That's his daughter. That's one of his daughters. All right. I think the grandmother, she's into the truth. You know, the grandmother has a friend. All right. And she told her friend about the truth. And I'm going to play it, but let me just continue with this scripture. It's very important. All right. And that's why I showed you that video, because that video is a very, very good example. All right. All right. Verse 15. All right. But if the unbelieving, all right, depart. So let's say you have an unbelieving husband and he departs. All right. Let him depart. All right. So if he's like, nah, I can't deal with this, whatever, you know, I don't believe in this, this is bullshit, blah, blah, blah. All right. You know, don't hold him to ransom if that's the case, you know, but if the unbelieving depart, so let's say, you know, an unbelieving husband or wife departs, all right, let's say an unbelieving husband, if he departs, let him depart. All right. A brother or sister is not under bondage in such cases, but God have called us to peace. All right. Because if it's causing mayhem in the house where, say, you are in the truth and he's not, you know, and he's not pleased to dwell with you and he can't stand it, he's got multiple demons on him, where, you know, you being in truth, it just agitates him and he starts getting violent or something like that, you know, let him depart. Okay. A brother or sister is not under bondage in such cases, but God have called us to peace. Because what is that gonna do? The fact that he is irritated by you reading the Bible, this, that, and he starts arguing with you all the time, this, that, and the other, and he says he's leaving, you know, and it, you know, that you can't be reconciled, let them depart. All right. So I hope that actually is quite clear for you. Okay. Because there's many there's many women that are in this situation. And I remember years ago I did a video on this. I did a video on the Israelite women, and I quoted this scripture, and one woman put a comment and she said, thank you. You know, I really needed this clarification, because many of our women are in this situation, man. All right. So remember, if they're unbelieving but they're pleased to dwell with you, all right, then fine, keep it that way. But if the unbelieving departs and says, I can't take this no more, I can't stand it, all right, you know, blah blah blah, you know, the man's like, listen, I can't stand it no more, this is madness, blah blah blah, you know, he's stopping you from impeding you from growing in this truth, etc., and it's untenable, it says what? Let him depart. All right, let him depart. A brother or sister is not under bondage in such cases, but God have called us to peace. All right, so I hope that is quite clear. All right, so remember that the unbelieving husband, all right, he could come into this truth by seeing your holiness, by seeing you being transformed by the renewing of your mind. And if it's the other way around, the same thing. If you're a man and your woman is an unbeliever, but she's pleased to dwell with you, all right, don't kick her out. Don't put her away. All right, she might come around, because she sees the change in you. Okay, so I hope that's quite clear. All right, and if you look up the word sanctified, all right, I looked it up in the blue letter. All right,
Strong's G37, hagiadzo. Hagiadzo.
So in the Greek it's hagiazo, which means to separate from profane things and dedicate to God. You see, so from you being sanctified, meaning you're separating your things from God's, from the world, and the thing that God looks at as profane, and profane means outside the temple. All right, like eating pork, that's profane. Loving Edomites, that's definitely profane, man. And the ones of our women that you have a love for your physical and spiritual enemy, Esau, these so-called white people, you're not gonna make it, man. It's as simple as that. Not one of them in that family, all right, have a problem with any of the doctrine. You heard what he said. He said Great Millstone is the truth and been teaching the truth. They ain't got no problem with it whatsoever. The ones of you that have Stockholm syndrome, you're gonna perish. Believe that, man. All right. So sanctify means consecrate things to God, to dedicate people to God. All right. To purify, to cleanse externally, to purify by expiation, free from guilt of sin. All right. To purify internally by renewing of your soul. And that's what this truth does. So by you being an Israelite woman, all right, or vice versa, Israelite man, and you're changing, and then your partner who's an unbeliever, all right, sees that change, they could come into the truth. Okay. Now, all right, there's another example here, all right, because this is when Paul was in prison. All right, and you have to understand that mainly it's about the man. This truth is about the man. There's no such thing as a woman being equal to man and so forth. We all know that. That's, that we have newspeak. Well, that's a new thing in the earth, which it says in Jeremiah. It said the Lord's a woman shall what? And this is the biggest problem. Woman shall compass a man. And this is the biggest problem that we have because of the curses. All right. Because of the curses. All right. The woman, the Israelite woman. If I always focus on America because most of the people, the subscribers in America, but over here in the UK, it's the same thing. The black woman, in America, the Latino woman, the Native American woman, and the black woman earn more than a man, which is prophecy. All right, and that can cause friction in the household as well. Jeremiah 31:22. How long wilt thou go about, O backsliding daughter? For the Lord have created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. All right, so the woman now earns more than the man. So sometimes our women have no respect for the man. And I saw that in my household when my dad was a doctor and he couldn't work as a doctor for about 6, 7 years. The way my mum spoke to him was totally disgraceful, man. Absolutely despicable. You know why? Because she was like, at one point, the main breadwinner. And she treated him like shit. But we know the reason why, because of the curse. And this is it. And it said the Lord created this. So all these things that we're going through is punishment from the Lord, man. Alright? But ultimately, salvation, alright, for an Israelite family, ultimately, is the man. Alright? The man. Okay? Alright, and this is when Paul was in prison. Okay? Let's go here. Acts 16 and 27. And the keeper of the prison awakened out of his sleep. Alright? And this is when Paul was in prison and, the Lord delivered him from prison. And seeing the prison doors open, he drew out his sword and would have killed himself, supposing that the prisoners had fled. Alright? But Paul cried with a loud voice, saying, "Do thyself no harm, for we are all here." Alright? Verse 29. Then he called for the light and sprang in and came trembling and fell down before Paul and Silas. Alright? And brought them out and said, "Sirs, what must I do to be saved?" Alright? So the prison keeper, the keeper of the prison was like, fell on his knees and said to Paul and Silas, "What do I have to do to be saved?" Alright? And they said, "Believe on the Lord Mashiach Yahushai, alright, and thou shalt be saved." Alright? So what is going to save us? Yes, we try to keep the laws to the best of our ability. Judges 5 and 11 says, "Rehearse the righteous acts." But it says, "What must I do to be saved?" Alright? And he said, and they said, "Believe on the Lord Mashiach Yahushai." Alright? Or Yahushai Mashiach, should I say. Salakia for that. Alright? "And thou shalt be saved, and thy house." Alright? So what does it mean, "and thy house"? Meaning the people in your household, man. So the men that believe, who are in this truth, alright? If you're in this truth and you're a man, alright? If the Lord will save you, alright? The people in your household will be saved as well. Alright? That's a very important thing. So that shows you that primarily salvation is for the men. Alright? The Lord said, "Unto you, O men, I call." Okay? But there is situations, as I said, there's women who are single, who are single. Now if you go to that same scripture, Acts 16 and 31, all right, and you go to the NLT version. All right, yeah, the NLT version. Let's see what it says here. It says, "They replied, believe in the Lord Yahushai, all right, and you will be saved, along with everyone in your household." All right. So really, primarily, salvation is really for the men. All right. That's why the previous video I did, that if you're a single Israelite woman, yes, you can stay single. All right. If you can ask the Lord, put a spirit on you to stay single and do the best you can. But primarily, really the salvation comes from you being with a righteous man, a man of the Lord. All right. And if a man of the Lord is going to be saved, so them of his own household. So if the man is saved and he's got children, the Lord willing, the Lord will deliver those children as well. So it's very important that, you know, we understand the parameters and how the Lord has set things out. All right. So I don't want to make it that long. Okay. And if you look at this video, it was very touching, especially this bit. They bring gifts, and this woman said something quite powerful, you know. And I'm not gonna lie, I cried when I saw this video, man. Because sometimes you think people are not listening. Look at that. And you can see that that's her daughter, man. Just a lighter version of her. Look. There you go, man. All right. And how are we going to be saved? We're going to be saved by the chariots. All right. So if you're a man of the Lord, all right, you know, and you're in this truth, your household will be saved, man. You'll be beamed up into these chariots. All right. You'll be beamed up into these chariots, man. You know. But if you're, you know, a single woman and you're on your own, you know, and you know, we haven't got a man and so forth, you know, and you do your best, you'll be delivered in those chariots as well. All right. That's why the Lord is coming back with a large amount of his angels to deliver his elect. All right. But there's going to be other chariots with the angels to deliver the remnant of our people, man. All right. And that might be, you know, people in your family as well, man. So just remember that, all right, if that husband is pleased to dwell with you and he's an unbeliever, you know, you don't have to kick him out. You know, and a woman should be kicking out anyone, but, you know, in this society, it's so effed up. And it's the same with the husband. If you have an unbelieving wife and she's pleased to dwell with you, you know, don't kick her out. So I hope that's quite clear. I hope you're edified. And if there's any questions, you can put on the comment board and I'll get back to you. Until the next one.